Welcome to another episode of Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship. I am Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business. We are a conglomerate of women in business and women-owned businesses in the Southern Crescent region and beyond. Welcome, Miss Attania Jean-Funny. We're so excited to have you today.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me, Miss Ariel Shaw.
Absolutely. So tell everyone, who is Miss Attania Jean-Funny? You have a little nickname. Let's talk about what that is.
Yes, so I am known as the Audacious Advocate because I've spent my pretty much whole life making sure that just trying to improve whatever environment that I'm in. So it takes advocacy. It takes being the one that wants to be on the front lines a lot of times to speak up. I get phone calls, I get text messages. Hey, we need this, we need that, far as people that may not want to speak up or not be able to speak up. But God has graced me with that talent. And he's always made sure that I'm protected and provided for, so I take it on.
Absolutely. Attania, tell us a little bit about who you are.
So yes, I am originally born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I have been in the United States since I was 3 years old, raised in Florida, North Florida, where my southern accent comes from, Haitian father. And was raised by an entrepreneur. My dad was the town tailor, so he made clothes, altered clothes. So the name of the business was Jean the Tailor, and they thought we were the tailors. And I was like, no, our last name is Jean. so that was really funny. But yeah, and the funny thing about it is that being raised by an entrepreneur, people would ask me, was I going to take over that? I was like, absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of hours. Like my dad spent a lot of hours because it was, somewhat of manual labor, like sitting at a machine for long periods of time. And it took away sometimes from family time. And, a lot of, if I was in a play at school or things like that, some of them he would make, some of them he couldn't make because he was working, to make sure that we ate and had a roof over our head and things like that. And so I was like, no, I don't want to go in that. So I did the exact opposite. I went to college for science.
Oh, okay. And where did that take you?
Yeah, so I received my bachelor's and master's degree in biology education. I have a love of science, and I found out that I could really break it down for people to understand it. And so 27 years I was a science teacher. I was also a dean of students, and I did that in Florida. I did it for 13 years in New York City. Awesome experience. And there I got my educational leadership master's. So I have 2 master's degrees.
Wow.
But met the love of my life in New York. And after we had our babies, I was like, no, they got to be raised in the South. And that's what brought us back here.
So you were raised in the South, though, correct?
Yes.
So that was where?
North Florida. So I was raised in Lake City, Florida.
Okay.
And attended Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University for my 2 degrees.
So Florida A&M.
Yes. The Rattlers in the house. Yes.
All right. So talk a little bit about where you are now. You went from education to 27 years. What are you doing now?
So now I am still educating. I now educate the world of Medicare, which can be very complicated. Life insurance. I am not ashamed to say that I went my whole career not knowing that I needed life insurance outside of my job.
Wow.
So then when I decided to transition, I was like, oh my gosh. I literally, my husband and I got our policy from another rattler who, started schooling me like, so many people didn't know, like when we sign up for all our health benefits and things like that with HR, they don't know or not allowed to like counsel you on what you really need. And so I was like, no, this is an area that I have to go in because I want to counsel other people like myself, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed teachers. I've literally been teaching since I was 22 years old, right? And I just wanted to counsel them like, hey, we got to do more preparation in our life outside of our career to make sure that everything is whole. So I went into the area of life insurance and health insurance.
So why do you think, why do people need life insurance?
Buzz, believe it or not, we're not going to be here forever. And it is a way that other communities have been building generational wealth. Like, I feel that every generation should not have to start from scratch. And I feel like
Can we say amen to that?
Yes.
Can we pause on women, wealth, and entrepreneurship and say, yes, they should not be starting over.
Yes.
So how does insurance help with that?
Well, now they have so many different avenues that you can take, but the basic one is if you pass away, well, not if, when, that first of all, your family is not going into debt to bury you. That's number one, that they can actually grieve properly, knowing that the expenses of your burial and all of those things are taken care of. And then outside of that, you want to, you can leave a little cushion or a bigger cushion so that the family that's left have something to start with. Like if you own a home, that's why a lot of people, term insurance is cheaper. A little more affordable, it covers more, but it is for those times in your life where you maybe have large debt. So, you and your spouse or, your significant other owns a home, your life insurance policy could possibly pay it off or pay for your kids' college or, just things like that. You can never come back, your family member can never come back, but just being able to say, what, they left us with a sound foundation.
My grandmother, I had one grandmother that was an elected official, served almost 30 years, college, all that stuff. Then I have another grandmother who, in this day and age, I guess, what do you call it? She cleaned. What is that? Domestic worker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was a domestic worker, but she raised 10 kids. Mm-hmm. She and my grandfather. What I found, even with not having a college degree, they were so savvy that I'm just so impressed, because what I remember and what we talk about with my aunts is, and my mom, is how she would get these policies on, like, it's a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's 10 kids, so it's like 60-some grand. It's a large family. Mm-hmm. But certain grands, I know she would get policies on, and when she needed to, she would cash those policies. And so I'm like, how does she even know how to do this stuff and be, savvy enough to understand you don't have to worry about trying to get no loan or all this other stuff, but using the tools of insurance back in the day, is something that I think, I absolutely applaud. And I would just say, I don't think a lot of families, especially African-American families, especially today, I think we're starting to have that conversation a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I applaud her for doing what she did decades and decades ago, because she set her family up.
Yeah. And when you're talking about policies that, will build cash value, you're now looking at the whole life policy. Now we have, universal life policies that a lot more people want more information about. So you just have to see what your goals are. But like for the grandparents, oh my gosh, we have a policy that you can pay it off in full in 20 years.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so your grandbaby is born, by the time they turn 20, you're giving them a policy, and it's like paid in full, and then if they want to add to it later on, they can. So there's ways for it to be done.
Absolutely.
We just have to prioritize because, and the government, they know like there's certain things they're not going to prioritize. Like mandatory car insurance, mandatory home
Right.
insurance, but we don't make it mandatory to have insurance on our bodies, so we definitely need to continue to have conversations on that.
Well, I also think it's because it is a way to create wealth.
It is.
And they're not going to make that mandatory.
You have a point there.
Right.
You have a point there, yes.
So, okay, we're doing insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But you're called the audacious advocate. Where
Yes.
does that fit into now? Like what so you're advocating for insurance, but people are calling you to also speak up.
Yes.
Why are they calling you?
Okay. So, when I left New York, I left a very strong union. And unions are good because they protect workers. And as you know, in the South, we don't have those types of protections. So while I was teaching, we have what we call professional organizations here. So while I was teaching, there was just some policies within our school system that was not benefiting the teachers. It wasn't benefiting parents. It wasn't benefiting property owners. And I started speaking up at the board meetings and things like that. And
Can I stop you here for a second?
Uh-huh.
Where are you getting the boldness and the courage to speak up? I mean, what in your life prepared you for that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've always had it. I remember summer camp, like when you would go away to camp for like a week or 2 weeks. I remember this vividly. So I remember summer camp going away once, and the camp leaders decided who was going to be the representative for our little cabin. And I remember saying to them, that's not fair. We should vote on who represents us. And the other people in my cabin was like, yeah. And we changed who was going to represent.
That is something.
So, and I have always been the one that was like, you have the bullies and the people being bullied. Well, I was the one that was like, leave that person alone. So I know for a fact that this has always been in me. Now, I do believe my life experiences has helped to mold and shape me. So definitely going to a historical black college brought that out in me. Living in New York City, they say if you live there for more than 10 years, you can consider yourself a New Yorker. So if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Okay, concrete jungle.
So, but, we all have God-given talents. We have to figure out what they are, and this was mine. And God is protecting me along the way.
So you're advocating. What are you advocating for now?
So now I have decided that, not just me, my village, that I am going to work on behalf of my county. And so, but even before that, so advocating for the school system, I want to say, though, my unofficial advocacy turned into an official advocacy. So I was official advocate. So I went from like annoying the superintendent to being hired by the superintendent.
Something?
So I do want to say that. So I just feel like we need a vision for our county. We need ethical people. We need people that's going to stand up morally and also that know the business. And since I have been involved so much within my community on school level, on a county level, I have put my hat in the ring to represent my county as the commissioner for District 3.
And what county is that?
This is Clayton County in Georgia.
All right.
When you land in Georgia, you are landing in Clayton County if you take Hartsfield Airport.
All right. A lot of people don't realize that. Although, you know, I was at a lunch, what was that, 2 days ago? And the mayor of Atlanta, he actually acknowledged it. You know, he was like, half of this is in Clayton County. I was like, okay, I don't think I've ever heard a mayor of Atlanta say that. So I think they're hearing you guys.
Yes, yes.
So talk about, what does that race entail? What does that look like? What do those that you want to vote for you, what do they need to know?
Well, they need to know that, like I said, I'm a person of moral integrity. They need to know that I'm a person that didn't just jump in the race. I have run for one other position, and they need to know that you want somebody that's a fighter. You don't want somebody that when they don't get the position, they just go run away and hide.
Right.
And so what I did, I was like, okay, whatever the reason is, I'm going to keep working. So I kept working for the community. When we had our SPLOS, our eSPLOS came up, and we wanted it approved so that we can make some improvements within our school system. I was an advocate for that, going around telling people, presenting at churches, things like that. Recently, we had a tax exemption for warehouse companies and things like that. We wanted to roll it back a little bit from 100% exemption to 80%. And I was one of the biggest ones that was like using my platform to tell our community, even when our commissioners put it on the ballot and then didn't say anything about it, and our community was very confused of what it was. So I reached back to one of our former tax commissioner, Terry Baskin, was like, can you come on my platform and explain this to our citizens? And we explained it.
So you were, okay.
Yes. So our board of commissioners put this referendum. So there
goes the educator in you, where you're breaking stuff down. Got it.
Yep. So, and then, you know, things that we can do in our community. I also, not this past December, but the December before, when we had those freezing cold temperatures, me and other just regular leaders, not anyone with positions, came together, and we were able to open up a warming center, the first overnight warming center during Christmas, for our homeless population. So, yep.
All right.
So with that being said, I think that I have done a lot of things to earn the support of our community to say that I am ready to serve as commissioner on day one.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to allow you to tell people, how can we reach you?
Yes, thank you so much. So I am Attania Jean-Funny, a candidate for commissioner, and they can reach me through Facebook, A Funny for the People, Instagram, A Jean Funny, and also my website, ajeanfunny.com.
And quickly, how do you stand out from those that are running against you now?
Oh, in a myriad of ways. First of all, like I said, I am someone that has been working in the community this whole time, didn't just decide yesterday that I wanted to run for this position. I'm someone that has years of experience when you talk about workforce development and things like that. I do have a vision for our community. I do have a relationship already established with our city leaders. So I just met with the mayor of Lovejoy. You know, I already have a relationship with the mayor of Jonesboro. So making sure that we are one county. Code enforcement knows me. Just different things within our community. I have a relationship with the leader of the water authority. So I've been in those circles already, and I have a pulse on what's going on in my actual community. And they know that they can call me. They know that when they see me, I am going to address their needs. I have already gone out to communities that are complaining about the pavement, you know, just different things. So they know they have a worker. They know they have someone who is going to advocate and put our county first.
Absolutely. That's very good. So I commend you on that. Let me ask you this. When is your election?
So our election is May 21st is election day. Early voting will start, I think, the last day in April and go throughout May.
All right. Well, the audacious advocate,
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Attania Jean-Funny, it has been a pleasure having you on Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship Podcast. Again, I am Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business, and this has been another episode of Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you.